It is Let's Talk Arts and Entertainment on WMAY, and it's State of the Arts. Was able to do this live on air a couple previous times as I've been covering different duties for either Mike Winmacher or Jim Leach or whoever, and might be doing it again soon. But we are back on video for this segment, and I am joined once again on video with Gus Gordon. How are you, Gus?
Kevin, I am doing really well this week. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. It's it's close to the holidays, and I'm doing good. Yeah.
We have one more big show until we have a little bit of a break for Christmas. So I'm going, woo, woo. That's great.
Yeah.
A couple of days off. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's how I have as we get into the holiday season, there's a lot of stuff that needs to get done in a lot of different areas, especially in the radio station as well, and theater. There's so many shows. Luckily, there's so much stuff going on around town, even at the Hoagland and everywhere. So it's great to have that, but there is a lot of work on all of our fronts that needs to get done before we get to the holidays. But then it will be a nice.
You're exhausting me. Stop
Yes.
it.
I know.
Telling me how much work there is to do.
Hey, it's okay. Well, we get to that point, it'll be all
Okay, good.
smooth sailing, so we'll be fine. But speaking of which, there is so much going on just this weekend alone. The Dual Piano Christmas concert is this weekend. Both Jim and I separately talked, and I talked again with Mark Gifford. We talked with him. Lots of excitement for that Dual Piano Christmas show. Always a fun time. And
Did he give you any tips about what their special aspects are this time, or who their special guests are? Because he
No.
never tells me. Dave
Oh, wow.
never tells me. So, and they're always a special guest. There's always a special guest. So I have to be surprised with everybody else to see who it is.
Well, that's
Let us know so we can, make sure we have everything we need in the dressing rooms and microphones. So let us know. Oh no, it'll be a surprise. It's like, oh, okay.
yeah. No, they didn't tell me. He's just come see it, and there's always some surprises. So.
Yes, they're always surprises.
Yeah, but and they always put on such a wonderful show. So if you don't have your tickets already, go get them because they're going fast. I understand.
Well, it's really selling well, and it's a great number of people, very manageable, but great houses. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, me too.
Nice way to get into the holiday spirit and hear some great music, and to be in the hands of two consummate showmen. Just great. And
Yes.
all their friends who are also equally talented.
Yes, absolutely. So that'll be such a good time. Also, in the Hoagland Center for the Arts on Saturday is going to be Capital City Improv's Ha Ha Holiday Show, which will be their this is the fourth Christmas show they've done.
Okay.
And it's and Capital City Improv, the shows I've seen them done always do a great job, and it's fun. And doing that improvisational comedy is a talent I don't possess, but I'm always, as we say, we're always amazed the wonders they can do with improv comedy. It's great.
Yeah, and then following Capital City, we've got Second City.
Yes.
Coming in January 15th, so we're also looking forward to them. But Capital City is a homegrown group. They do a great job, a lot of fun, and they always have good crowds coming to see their shows. And this one again will make you in a happy ho holiday mood with
Yes.
a lot of laughter.
Yes, absolutely. So that will be good, and we'll go for that one as well. And I also we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about Second City as well, because they are coming, and that is next month. They'll be coming through the
Right.
Hoagland Center for the Arts on the 14th. I want to say 14th or 15th.
15th, January 15th, and we're talking with them. Pardon me. We're talking with them about doing potentially an improv workshop early in the day on that Saturday.
Nice.
And inviting some of the local performers to come and take an improv class with some of the Second City performers. We've done that a couple of times in the past, and that always gets a great reaction. And, what impresses me about this organization is every time they've come here, they've had a different group, but each group has been to a person gracious, easy to work with, really funny people, and they do a little pre-show ritual, and they could get into a circle, and they basically say, we have you, we have each other's back. We're safe out there together. We're your safety net. It's really cool to watch that, and they do. They very much believe in the yes
Yes.
and supporting each other in the improv, and it's really fun to watch. And these are people with a lot of training and experience in Chicago and touring across the country. And I think I mentioned last time, Mike O'Brien, he has another name and I can't remember what it is. It's like Pat or Chris or something. He changes his first name, but Mike O'Brien was how he was in our program. And he was on Saturday Night Live for a while. He was Cecily Strong's boyfriend when they both came on the series together. He was a writer and a performer. You would recognize him. He did a couple of sketches. And, it was really fun to say, hey, he was here. I have his autograph. He was here at the Hoagland.
Nice.
Yeah. Cecily Strong wasn't, and I really would have liked to have seen Cecily Strong here.
So great. Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah. So absolutely. And that camaraderie of having each other, I mean, that for any production is essential. Comedy, and especially that improv comedy where it is improvisational, as the name would suggest. I mean, one of the things that makes comedies work is when the group of people doing the comedy, they just work well together, they mesh well together, and it sounds like they always do, and that's why they are so great.
It's been my experience that they are all really in sync with one another, and they go with the flow. I love watching The Office when Michael Scott is taking an improv class and he keeps whipping out a fake gun and changing. He is not a follower of yes and.
No.
He just completely doesn't work with you, and that's so funny to see that. But it's also great to see the opposite when they are working together, and they just have audio cues or visual cues to one another where they just can be in sync, and it's really, really fun to watch that take place.
Yeah, so that will be fun. Look out for that. That is in January, which is next year, 2022, where this year has gone by fast.
That's the understatement of the day, right there.
Oh my God, yeah. So that's coming up, but that will be the 15th.
Not fast enough, but
yeah, could be.
I hesitate to say that because I don't know what 2022 has in store.
No, it's
like, oh my God, I'm so glad to be done with 2020. And then we had 2021, and I thought, oh, that wasn't so great. So
yeah,
whatever happens. We'll just do
yes, absolutely. So those are all coming up. The Miscast Cabaret, of course, is also coming at the end of January, or it's one weekend, the 21st through the 23rd. Had a couple rehearsals since I talked with you last about it. It's going well, and we have a great group of people and a lot of fun gender bent songs and moments that'll be happening, and some costumes and stuff. So it's gonna be a blast.
Are you gonna totally embarrass yourself?
Well, I have to, of course.
Okay. That goes with the territory, right?
Yes, but having fun doing it. So am I really that embarrassed? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever I work with younger students, I one of the phrases that I use is you have to dare to be dumb. You have to go full out when you do something like that. You can't do it halfway.
No.
You have to take that chance and risk looking like an idiot to make it work. And when you're doing something that's silly or funny or ridiculous, you just have to go for it full steam ahead.
Yes, and that's that's another thing with because there are of course very serious ballads, duets, solos, but there are group numbers where doing it earnestly, in a way that the audience will perceive it as comedic. I mean, that's one of those things. It's,
right.
But yeah, you do that is so true. You do have to go full out with things, such as this to make them, it's so I'm excited for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think it already has been a lot of fun rehearsing some of it and just talking with people that are in it rehearsals. So
Awesome.
that's coming up. That will be also in January. That is coming up. We have some other things as well. The Illinois Symphony Orchestra doing their holiday pops in the Heartland, which was a stripped down sort of strings only version that was streamed last year. But they're going to be in Bloomington tonight and then back in Springfield tomorrow at the Performing Arts Center. And it'll be, their combined orchestra playing, Sleigh Ride, and the ballet company is going to be there doing some dancing. I believe Julie Staley is going to be narrating some things, and they're going to have some singing as well. I mean, there's going to be all sorts of holiday music and story experiences there. So that should be a lot of fun.
Always a good time, sure.
Yes, always. And then also want to mention that still streaming, you can get it through Showtix for You, is the Hoagland's virtual Christmas Carol from last year.
Right.
Yes.
We did a Zoom production of A Christmas Carol, and we had no idea what we would come up with. But in hindsight, we were very pleased with how it came out. As far as a Zoom type show would go, I think the end result was pretty favorable. So we're showing it again this year. It'll be available until January 2nd. You can get access to that through our website, hcfta.org. You just go to tickets and it'll take you to Showtix and you can order it. It's video on demand. So once you purchase it, you can watch it anytime. And once you start the stream or you start the video, you have 48 hours to finish it if you get distracted or have to go do something else, or if you could only deal with the magnificence in short doses.
Yeah.
I'm kidding there. But it's a very affordable ticket. It's just $5.
Oh, nice.
But it's really the only retelling of A Christmas Carol that's happening virtually locally this year. And that's always something that people, turn to each year as A Christmas Carol. And it's being done all over the country. I think St. Louis Rep just started this year. They've said they're going to do it 10 years in a row. They've committed to 10 years of doing A Christmas Carol. And of course, the Goodman in Chicago and the Indiana Rep does it, Cincinnati Playhouse in the Park. They all have their big productions of A Christmas Carol. And this is our tiny little virtual production, but it's fun.
But it's fun, no, and it's good, and you guys got a great cast, playing many different parts, and it is that classic Christmas story. Everyone knows it, and everyone loves watching it, and you feel good at the end of it, when Scrooge finally realizes the error of his ways, and everyone's happy,
right.
Basically.
Well, except the people except the ghost, perhaps, or except Jacob.
Well, they had to scare him into, giving money. It's okay.
It's always one of my favorite stories. I love seeing the different interpretations, be it the Muppets or, Mickey Mouse or, Patrick Stewart. He did a one-man version, and then he did a fully, stage TV movie. George C. Scott, Henry Winkler did an American Christmas Carol. So it's been interpreted in so many ways, but it's still that kind of great story of redemption and realizing that, you have to stay true to yourself and true to the people around you, and to keep that kindness in your heart towards other people. Always a good story. And that and Elf, two of my favorite Christmas movies. And I like A Christmas Story and Wonderful Life and all of those. I love the holiday movies.
Oh yeah, they always a good time. And the Grinch, the '60s Grinch cartoon, will always be my favorite. I love that cartoon so much.
I was talking about that with someone the other day, and the guy who sang the song,
Thurl Ravenscroft.
He is, for my money, the only person who could ever sing that song. He was so distinct and so unique. And everyone else just kind of sounds like a pale imitation when they're trying to do that song. Maybe there's someone out there with that deep bass voice who can do that. But boy, he was unique.
That bass voice, whenever you could always tell when he was dubbing somebody over in an old movie. I was like, there he is. But God, oh my God, that booming voice, and then in that voice doing the sarcastic comments about, touch you with a 39.5 foot pole,
Right.
Wonderful stuff. Right. Oh yeah.
As a kid, I thought that was also Boris Karloff.
Boris Karloff, yeah.
Because they both have distinctive voices, but as I got a little older, I realized that was not the case. Oh. But they both have these, magnificent speaking voices and very distinct style. Those you can't replicate.
No, and yeah, and
Morrison in the recent TV version didn't hold a candle to Boris Karloff.
Oh goodness, the musical, the live musical. Yeah, like many like many things, they did a wonderful job. The sets looked amazing. They looked like a Dr. Seuss book, and the choreography was great. Like good performances, but again, much like both the other Grinch live action movies, you're turning a book that's maybe 50 pages with a couple words on it each page into a 90-minute or 2 hours with commercials thing. It's like,
right.
You
got to have, scratching your butt jokes, and you've got to have, sleigh rides that are, epic chase scenes and crashes and explosions. Bigger is not necessarily better always. Bigger is sometimes just bigger.
Yeah. And the Grinch cartoon has it where it counts, I think, for my money. So that's that. So those classic Christmas stories are always great to watch. We're talk a little bit also about some national things. I'm actually going to start with some unfortunate and unsettling news coming out of New York with their COVID cases rapidly climbing, and several Broadway shows have had to halt productions pretty much entirely to mitigate some of this, and it's upsetting.
Well, you keep seeing the reports each day, and they cancel a matinee performance or cancel an evening performance, and then the next day, they cancel another one. And, they're testing every day. So every time the cast comes in the door, they're tested, and they've all been vaccinated, and there's still some breakthrough cases, and they're probably asymptomatic.
Yeah.
They probably don't even know, that they're ill, but and it shuts it down. And I think at least one day this week, there were at least 10 shows closed, and maybe more than that now.
Yeah.
And hopefully they'll reopen, but it takes 2 weeks, they say.
Yeah.
Properly. So if you have 5 actors out of a 10-person show down and out, it's going to be a rough January, I think.
Yeah, I think they said something like Evan Hansen, which the show is like an 8-person musical, has 11 understudies and standbys, or something. So
I have a lot of friends that I've worked with. Not a lot, a couple. I have a couple of friends, trust me.
You have a few. Yeah.
But I have a couple of friends that I've worked with who are now kind of like the COVID supervisor on some shows. A couple of people I've worked with over at the Little Theater, and they've gotten their entrance to Broadway by being the COVID monitor. One is, what show is she working on? Mean Girls.
Yeah.
The assistant COVID monitor for Mean Girls on Broadway. So she has to check the cast every day and all of that and make sure the protocols are being followed. There are new jobs out there because of this pandemic.
Yeah.
And I don't know that they're going to go away after the pandemic. They're health and safety, people who are monitoring what's going on. And I think probably that kind of job is going to stick around in the future.
And it definitely should. I mean, that would be all indications are, unfortunately, COVID is going to be with us for a while. It may, bump down to what common cold is, but but when if something else comes along, or there's something going around, that is a sort of person that you would need, and you would definitely want to keep these productions safe as they can be.
Right.
So yeah,
I hope this is short lived. I hope by February, March things are back to normal. But we'll see.
We'll see. But everybody can do their part. Please do your part. That's what I gotta say. I think absolutely. I talked about that because I want to end on some positive news. I saw West Side Story, the new one, and I think it's great. I think it's wonderful. I thought they did a really good job with it.
I look forward to seeing it. I haven't seen it yet. I've got to see that. I've got to see Spider-Man.
I saw Spider-Man.
And I've got to see Becoming the Ricardos when that comes out. I hear that's also.
Yeah.
But yeah, West Side Story's gotten some amazing reviews. It's gotten some people who don't, see why they did it. But from what I've heard, even though the box office was not great the first weekend, I hear that it's really just a fantastic adaptation. Steven Spielberg has done a masterful job. I think the box office will pick up. I think it'll be a long distance runner as opposed to a sprinter.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I think especially once this comes out on streaming services or home video, people are going to get it. The soundtrack sales, but I have the soundtrack. It's I've listened to it and such, and it's so great because it's and the box office numbers. I mean, Spider-Man is like one of the most anticipated movies of probably the last couple of years, and it's it's still a lot of money, but only made $150 million which for one of those movies it's good for pandemic times, but it's
right.
You never know.
It just really truthfully opened last night.
Yeah, I think that was pre-sales.
Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday to get through with a lot of ticket sales.
That's true. And West Side Story just opened, last week too. So, but no, I really liked it, and I think, and something I've said and it's been talked about is that the original West Side Story movie, which I love and is my favorite musical, one of my favorite movies, it is a direct adaptation of the Broadway show. So this new movie redoes a lot of the script and does a lot of changes to it, but sort of updates it in a way that it pays respect to the original material, and addresses certain things that maybe weren't clear, or either it's, some stuff about representation or also talked about, and I think they did a really good job with it. And I think that there was a recent Broadway revival that right before the pandemic, and it was I'm going to be honest, I saw a video of it and was not impressed with it. This is my my opinion of it, but I think this new movie is how you adapt something classic or remake it and do it in a way that works, and that pays good respect to the original material.
That's great to hear. I didn't see the Broadway version. Didn't it rain on stage at one point?
It rained on stage. They cut I Feel Pretty and the entire Somewhere ballet, and then it was one act. They had like live streaming video in it. I mean, it was odd. It was an odd show, and like the orchestra sounded great. There were some great performances, but I was like, this is horribly, like, I don't know. I mean, the opening prologue, which is timed, the choreography is timed to the music, and the choreography was different in the movie, but they did things in the movie. This one, it was almost 2 full minutes of them unbroken staring at the audience as like like, and like this live, and they had a giant TV screen and like a camera was just panning across them. I was like, what is this? Like, that one just made me mad watching it. And like, I know it shouldn't, and it's just like, that's one person's vision. And like, again, the original movie at that point was, just the movie, and it was still exist. I don't know. I'm going on a rant, but I'm just like, I just thought it was, it was really bad, and I think the new movie was like amazing, and I think it did probably what that tried to do, and I think probably changing around the script and even some of the characters' motivations is, you know, a good way to do that, because either, you know, if you're literally taking, you know, the script that was written in 1957 and throwing it into a modern day setting with cell phones and stuff, I mean, you can't do that.
Right.
So yeah,
Video cameras and projection screens. And,
yeah. So yeah, but so I think the new
out of the moment a little bit, doesn't it?
it does, but the new movie was so good. So I'm very happy with it. I think it's I still love that original movie, but again, that original movie is there, and it is the Broadway show exactly. So I did have to remind myself watching it. I'm like, okay, I know they're changing a lot of this, but the way they did it was good. So I enjoyed it.
Well, now I want to see it even more.
Yes. Well, very good. Very, very good. All right, we have some several things coming up this weekend. The dual piano concert, of course, Holiday Pops in the Heartland, and the Capital City Improv. That is all just this weekend in the next 2 days. So lots
and about 15,000 Christmas parties on top of those.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. So all sorts of things going on. Gus, thank you so much for joining me. We might be live on air next week. It won't be on Friday because we aren't here on the 24th. But sometime next week, I will probably see you.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.